How you doing?
I'm here.
Yo, I'm excited,
I'm
yo.
all right. I'm doing great.
I've been like a
Excited. Should
fanboy
I
of
turn down
Fantacee.
the radio, the music?
Say again now?
Oh, is the music in the background? Should I turn down the music? Is it loud
No,
or
no,
that's
no.
okay?
You good. You good. You good. You coming in
All
clear,
right.
Chris. The signal is strong. All right. So it's going it's gonna
All
be
right.
30 minutes. So we're gonna make it go hot, you know. So
Okay, no problem.
first of all, thanks a lot for making time
You're
to come
welcome
and visit our
anytime.
little platform here. So
It's not so
we're gonna go.
little,
We're gonna go
kinda.
right into it, yo. We're gonna go right into it. All
Okay.
right.
All right.
So, what is your name?
Well, my name is Fantacee Kamara, popularly known as Fantasy Wiz.
So your name is
I've got my
Fanta.
mom's middle name, so yeah. Yeah,
Okay, okay. I might stop calling you Fanta
yeah,
from.
that's the one on my passport. Yeah,
All right,
well,
all
that's the
right,
one
all
on my
right, all right.
passport. That's the one on my passport, but then people don't call me Fanta anymore, so just my mom. Yeah, my mom calls me
How
Fanta, and yeah, the thing. But people don't
how
really
did
call me Fanta anymore, which I miss so much.
how did Fanta turn to Fantasy Wiz? Like, how did that name come up?
Um,
Fantasy.
my dad, my dad is the one that started calling me Fantasy, and because I look so much like my dad, and well, for some reason, my dad loved me like very, very much. He sort of like spoiled me, and I was like his favorite, and that sort of thing. And I was that child that no one is allowed to shout at, no one is allowed to, do anything to. I'm just like, I'm just a pet. So he started calling me,
Your daddy's little angel, so to speak.
yeah. So yeah, so
Is it
then
up?
he started calling me Fantasy, and then everyone started calling me Fantasy. And then at some point, my mom got pissed because of it, and because I have my grandmother's name, my grandmother on my mother's side, and then my mom started saying like, I don't, why are you like, you should call her Fanta instead of Fantasy, but then Fantasy really sticks, and
And the rest is history, as they say. Daddy's little
yes,
girl. All right. So now we're gonna go into the story of Fantasy Wiz, right?
yeah,
So first the backstory. So you are from Kabbalah, that girl from Kabbalah.
that girl from Kabbalah. Yes, I am that
All
girl
right.
from
So
Kabbalah. Let me turn down the music.
all right, no worries, no worries, no worries.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yes, I
What
am
you
that
got back
girl.
there? What you got back there? Is that mural?
It's a,
What's hot?
it's, yeah, that's it's a frame or something. This is my first EP. The reason why I have this is because apparently I'm the first Sierra Leone artist that actually released a spoken word EP and launched it,
Hey.
and it's available on e-market. So I sort of like I wake up every morning looking at it as a form of like inspiration, and to remind me like how far I've come and then how far I should go.
Right, right. Yeah, we're gonna come to that. Like, you have a lot of firsts. You have a lot of firsts. First spoken word, first
Yeah,
performance at Denver Road. You have a lot of firsts.
yeah.
Um, so we want to lay the table so we can get a better understanding of who Fantasy Wiz, that girl from Kabbalah, is.
Okay.
So you grew up in
Yes.
Kabbalah. So tell us the
Yeah.
backstory. So.
I was born in Kabbalah, and I
Mhm.
grew up there, just a bit, and then I get to come down to Freetown, where I went to high school, and then
So
apparently
wait, how
I
old were
went to
you when you
college
came to
here.
Freetown? How old were you when you came
Ah,
to Freetown?
I was like 12 or something, 14 or around that age. I came to Freetown
Which
because
school you
then
go? Which
I
school?
was
Which school in Freetown you go?
Methodist Girls High School.
All
Methodist Girls High School. Yeah,
right, so you did the school
yeah.
thing, and then fast forward. Can you hear me? I
Mm-hmm.
can hear you. Can you hear
So
me?
then first of all, no, no, no. Where was I? Like I came to Freetown, And then, I finished high school. I joined the, how should I say, the Voice of Children on the UN radio. I was a radio presenter because I wanted to be like on the radio. Because when I was growing up, my dad was always listening to the BBC. And for some reason, I got like, I want people to listen to me. I want to know how my voice sound on the radio. So I wanted to do that. So, when I, like in high school, and then we heard about the Voice of Children. We all went there as kids. We were all like running, really excited, wanted to be part of it. I ended up being part of it. I started working on the radio, presenting all these kids show. We're all like, because literally they just wanted kids, underage, like, kids basically. So that means that below 18. So, I went there, I did all of that. And then I was on the radio. And then Charlie Hafner, a lot of people know Charlie, Freetown Players, yes. So there was a time that he was listening to me on the radio, and then he wrote me a letter like, I love voice, and we're doing this radio drama, and I want you to be part of it. And I was like, really? Like, yeah, I'm really excited. So I end up being part of Freetown Players for a very long time. And then, Freetown Players is the dancing, the singing, the acting, the a cappella, this, that. So it was like all of that. And at that time, but still, I never like for a second thought that I was going to do music, because for some reason, I think a lot of people, I had people back then that would say, you're a better actor, stick to that. You're better this, stick to that. So I never for that. So when I was when I was in college, and then I started recording like demos on, when you guys have like a Mac computer, for example, you get to record something. Like, your voice is nice. Like, really is nice. Okay, let's put it online and see if people would like listen to it. And then you get people listening to it like, nah, I'll say to myself, nah, I don't believe it. Like, nah. So that's how I end up like. That's how I end up having like.
When did you start believing that? I guess small voice, the voice fine. When did you start believing it?
It was like I think it was when we recorded a song that was never like mixed or mastered. It was just like messing around on the Mac computer, and it was like there's a song called Free. So when I did it, and it was like pop, but like they were like singing in Quran core and that sort of thing. And then I said, this is nice. I was like, yeah, this is nice. But what about that? There's a folk song. What if I try that? And I tried it, and then boom, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to release that. This is going to be like my first like song that I really like. It's called Kumbaya. So then I get to release it.
What year was that? Do you remember what year?
Like
you remember what year that was? 2015.
2015.
So
I will. 15.
So what was your official date that you entered that you can say you started your music career?
Valentine's Day 2015.
Now what is it about that? Let me make sure, because when I asked you could narrow it down. Valentine's Day 2015. How come? Like what did you do Valentine's Day 2015 that kind of marked it as you started?
Because I released a song that is like, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And it's a mixed and mastered, song that we went to the studio, professional studio, have a mic, they mixed and mastered and everything, and have a flyer for it and say, okay, I'm going to release it. I don't care what people say or people don't say. I want to give this a shot. So yeah, so I wanted to release it on a date that it would be like that I would never forget.
What was the name of that song?
Kumbaya.
So Kumbaya that you spoke about, that was that was the one that you actually released on Valentine's Day.
Yes. It's like, everybody show me your love. Kumbaya, show us, let us call it. Kumbaya, maybe we might contest. Kumbaya, is Guru Zambolo, Kemenalimbolo. So yeah, that's the song.
How was the response?
Yeah. It was great. It was
good?
Great. And the reason being because, yes, it's a folk song. And then a lot of people could relate to it. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, like, like, wow, I haven't heard this song from him. Like some people were saying, like I forgot about this song, but now that I've heard it, it's like we used to sing it when we were kids. And they're like, oh, you that like the twists around it and how you played with it, how you did it. Oh my God, it's really good. And I was like, I started like, I started like, oh yeah, I think I could do this.
The voice, by the way, that's a
Yeah.
smooth thing. I need to acknowledge more when you guys sing. Be like, yeah, I need to do like the finger claps, like nice voice, nice voice. Can you hear me?
So
All
yeah.
right. So okay, so you did
Yeah, I can.
Kumbaya. That was that Valentine's Day 2015, and then that was kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is good. I can do this,
Yeah.
right? So then, what did
Yes.
you follow up with?
Mm-hmm.
What came after Kumbaya?
I think what came after was a spoken word, um, sort of that has to do with rape, and because then I started writing poems before music, but I never for a second thought that I was ready for people to listen to what I have to say. So then this something happened, and there was this girl that they found on the beach, like it was alleged rape and murder, and at that time it
Right.
was a very very sensitive, because I've always I was always like, even before I came into music, I was always like doing this community sensitization, advocacy and that sort of thing. So I was always like doing that. So I was like, okay, why don't I just do something on this and put it out? So I did another song that has to do with power to the youth, because I feel like most of the time when people are talking about government and politics and blah blah, it has to do with old people, and for me that's a problem. So I always I have to say something. I'm someone that feels like I have to say something, and not just to say something, but something that's substantial, something that carries a lot of weight. So and then I released that. When I released that, and again, and in 2016, I released African Woman, because for me, I do have a lot of like backslash because of my hair, and even in and out of Sierra Leone, Sierra Leone, for example, people look at like dreadlocks and they feel like, oh no, you're not beautiful. For you to feel beautiful, you have to have all this long straight hair, the Peruvian, the Brazilian, or whatever hair, and then it's a problem. So and women do so much to fit in,
Right.
and I don't want that. A lot of people are doing a lot of things just to fit in, and for me, I feel like when you're beautiful in whatever shape, color, or size you are, as an African woman, you should be proud and just embrace yourself. So I did that song. So I started looking at my songs, like it's about preaching, it's about revolution, it's about being inspiration, it's about, so yeah.
So is
So
that
yeah,
still an
and then
issue with like African features being looked upon, like the hair, the dreadlocks, or nappy hair? Is that still an
it
issue?
is.
Because it seems like people are more embracing Afrocentricity now, or will you think it's still an issue?
No, it's still an issue. Yeah, seriously, because I've got sisters. Yeah, because every girl, every woman out there is my sister. So yeah, I refer to every woman as a sister. It doesn't mean that I have to, we have to be from the same mother or the same father in that or bloodline or anything. I've got sisters that would come up to me and say, what if when you get, I hope you're going to cut this hair the day you're getting married. And I'm like, what do you mean? Why should I cut my hair? We're like, oh, what man would want to marry a woman with dreadlock like yours? I mean, your hair is literally on the floor and that sort of thing. So I look at, like, for the fact that we have sisters saying that, and it is a problem. And when you look at them, they have all this weave, long straights, and it's a freaking, like, it's absurd. And so we still have people who feel like with this type of hair, you're not that beautiful. We have people, growing natural hair, who have natural hair, but sometimes when they want to go to certain occasions or certain events, they rather, put on something else to, in their words, to fit in or dress for the occasion or whatever. So it still is a problem. Yeah.
How do you respond to people who tell you that things like that? Like, you therefore cut your dreadlocks before you get you married, or how do you respond to that?
Well, seriously, because if man come meet me and tell me say I need for cut me, yeah, it's a no. Even if you bring the one who go with you, money and everything, because you don't meet me with me. You yeah, it just feel like when you talk, when you can you talk say for cut me, Bobby. I was born with it. I was born with my hair, for example. So
Now
why should I cut it?
back, back to your awareness,
So
because
if you come to me,
you know,
to me it's
so I
the
wanted to
full it's
touch
a
on
full
that because
package.
it's a full package, a very full
Yeah,
package.
yeah.
So I wanted to talk about your activism, because I know that women's
Mhm.
issue rape. You've actually talked personally about
Mhm.
your personal experience in that. I don't know. Do you want to
Yeah.
share anything?
Yeah.
Because I want to
Mhm.
question. So, like, what was your personal experience with that and with rape, and how do you think, as a country, we are responding to, the safety of women?
For me, for me, like I always tell people, most times, like before when I was doing the advocacy and activism when it has to do with rape, I tell people like, oh, I'm talking about this because I'm a victim and this. I stop calling myself victim the moment I feel like I should stop victimizing myself first before other people. You know what I mean? Like, so I started talking about myself as a survivor. And for someone being like, I've been like, I was abused when I was a kid and I was raped, multiple times, because more than two is like, it's a serial already. So, to me, and it, I always have, mixed feelings when it has to do with rape, basically. And reason being because of what I went through as a person, and the people not acknowledging it, or people not believing you, or people saying you shouldn't have said anything. What man would want to be with a woman that has been raped? All of that, yeah. And
Yeah.
it, like before, it used to weigh me down so much that like I was like I walk on eggshells, for example. If someone like wants me or want to go on a date, like I was like, I'm just edgy. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want, what if, I like that person and I get to talk about it, and then they don't want to, they don't want to go on like the next date, And so I had all that, what society did to me. But then I came to a point where I'd be like, F it. I don't really care. I could talk about it. The more I talk about it, the more, the lesser the pain becomes. And then the more I talk about it, the more other people will come out and talk about it. And if you're a man and you feel like you don't want to be with someone who's been raped, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye. Good riddance to bad, bad
So
rubbish. You could go. You could go.
what helped? What helped in that process? What did the music, the performance, or like what helped in that process with you coming to terms with all your experiences, the good, the bad, and what helped in that process?
I used to do. I think if not the only Sierra Leonean or the first that started doing short videos on Facebook. Like I started in 2015, 2014,
Right.
15. I started doing short videos. I would talk about something and then I post it. I would talk about something and I post it. I'll talk about something and I post it. And then in 2015, one of my videos went viral where I was talking and I was so emotional and I end up crying. And deliberately, for some reason, I wanted to delete and edit the video, but then I go like, F it, I'm going to put it out just like that. And when I did that, like the response from other people, like oh my god, like you're so strong, you're so decent. I'm a victim as well, but I've never been able to talk about it. Oh, this happened to me too, but I've never been able to talk about it. Then I had like a lot of women coming forward, even men coming forward. Then I go like, okay, I'm not alone, because all this while I thought I was the only one, but I'm not. So that helped me a lot. Social
Wow,
media,
that's good.
basically. Yeah.
I'm happy. You definitely inspire a lot of people, and they give people strength to talk about rape and
Yeah.
and a lot of abuse. That. All right. So now fast forward to also a lot of your first. You like I see when I was reading your bio, you're the first performer in Pademba Road and Special Court. Could you tell me more about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I went to how should I say special courts. Okay, that's because when I was with Freeton Players, yeah, we were singing and this and that. So I had a friend. His name is Tom. Tom owns Freetown on Courts. Yeah. So he had a bar. It was just like foreigners or what not. And sometimes we just go there, jams. We have jam. We have drums, and then I would just go and do all this encore, a cappella, or sometimes with the drums and everything. And for some reason, like the foreigners, they loved it. They're like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! This is this and this is that." Yeah. So I started going there. That was around 2000, 13, 12, 13. So then a friend of mine contacted me. They're like, you know what? I'm talking to like artists, to go, asking them for a favor just to go perform for, you know, uh, um, the the inmates, at the Pademba Road and this, but nobody they're big stars and they want money. They're not like so they don't want to do it because that's all. And I was like, what, like there? I was like, so for me it was like, oh my God, like for me it was like going in there doing something for those people because I'm always want to do something for people, always want to. So I was like, why not? Yes. And he said, uh, just like that, free. I was like, sure, yeah, free. He said, no money. I was like, sure, yes, no money.
And you went ahead and did it.
And there I did it. Charge. Yeah, I did it. And I had like a lot of like stuffs in my hands. And then the inmates, they end up like, oh, could you give me this? Could you give me that? Could you give me this? And then I came out, I was like, okay, I'm not even an artist, yeah, but these guys, they truly appreciate what I did.
So I assume that the way that they showed you love in the prison, that also made you kind of say this music thing or this kind
Yes,
of
yes,
gives you
yes,
that energy you need to kind of propel. Like I can do this. All
yes,
right. So
yes,
we
yes.
have only like 7 more minutes in this interview, and I
Already?
really wanted to.
Ooh.
Yeah, time goes fast, right? It feels like it's just one. I want to get. You
Yeah.
see, the reason I keep it 30 minutes is because I uploaded. It's because in the live you don't get as much. Everybody's busy. They come in and come
Oh,
out the
okay.
live and all that. But you get more views
Yeah,
when
yes,
you
yeah,
upload
yeah, yeah,
it and
yeah.
you repost in different areas. So I
Uploaded,
always keep that
yeah,
30-minute window.
yeah.
Um, but I really want
Okay,
to
okay.
fast forward to the spoken words
Mm-hmm.
project that you worked on.
Okay.
First, your own complete
Yeah.
spoken word album, correct? Could you give us more information on that?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Um, the spoken word is was last year, and again, it has to do with me expressing myself because when it comes to music, it's me being like a running social commentary when it comes to my music. But my spoken word, it goes deeper than that. My spoken word is like all my thoughts are into my spoken word, my emotion, my everything, my life, my story, my deeds, everything is inside there. So like I released the first ever like spoken word I released last year was Where Is That Girl. I was like, let me just release it and see how people relate to it. And when I released it, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, like what? Like you?" And then I was like, I think I have like 200 poems like that I haven't released." And I was like, "What? Are you crazy? Like you should release it." I'm like, "Really?" Yeah. I was like, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to choose 7 and release an EP because I thought about it, and then most of the time I go online and I love research like who like do we have like a spoken word album or spoken word EP in Freetown in Sierra
And
Leone? No, it's not there. So I was like, let me do it.
so
So I did it.
could you
I've
share
become
could we hear one of the 7 that's on those on the spoken word album, and how can people get it and stream and all that? Could we hear one of them and information how we can get it?
yeah, yeah. You could. It's on. It's the spoken word EP is on everywhere. Like Audio Africa,
What's the name?
Spotify, Kule, as in Kule, in brackets
K
my
U L
voice.
E K
Yeah,
U L E. All right. So if
yeah,
we
in
just put
brackets
Fantacee
my
Wiz
voice.
and Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
All right.
boom, then you have it
So
there.
what?
Yeah, yeah.
So can we hear
So basically,
a thing from?
yeah. And I wasn't given an option to choose the parent that gave birth to me. Neither did I ask to be born into this world as a girl that's so cruel to me. But if given the opportunity to choose, I will choose to be born as a girl 10 times over. I'll choose because I love and cherish every bit of me because all I have is me living for me. Shut up, smarty pants. You too mouthy, rude, and loud. Who told you to speak when not spoken to? No man wants a woman that speaks when not spoken to. And no man will marry a woman that speaks when not spoken to. And say married in sweet one, not well. I'd rather stay single and die happy. They say my breasts are too pokey, my dress is too tight, that shows all my cups and make a man wandering into all the wrong places. They said that I am an open invitation to rape. They said as a woman, I need to get married to be respected. And when I got married, they said I need to have a child to be called a real woman. And then I had a boy. And then another one. Years later, the husband I wanted to look at me. Flabby stomach and stretch marks are clear evidence of me bringing life into this world. At the end of the day, I did everything society asked of me, and what did I get in return? Lying and cheating husband. If you want the full one, go for my EP. Yeah.
Kool-Aid. So we just checked Kool-Aid. All I need to do is that's a little tease. That's a little tease. So you guys want you got seven. Is what should we call it? Poems, or what's the technical word to call them?
It's an EP. It's 8 actually. It's 8 because the intro
8?
I don't count that, but in as much as it's past. But it's 8. How should I? Yeah, 8. I'm weird. I just have like. Okay. Anyways, that's all right then.
We didn't touch on your weirdness at all. So, all right. So, Fantacee Wiz, we got 2 more minutes. Then we're going to have to shut down. The 2 minutes is all about you. I always finish the 2 minutes where I shut my mouth up because I've been known to talk a lot. All right. The 2 minutes is all about you. And so if you want to sing to us, you want to tell us about your project, if you just want to talk about your activism, whatever you want to talk about, this last 2 minutes. We didn't even talk about your accent. We talk about this accent. I thought you lived in England, but you didn't. But you always, anyway, whatever you want to talk about.
Everyone thought that. I think the only thing when people, sometimes I have this like, even like, people think that, are you Sierra Leonean? You're not Sierra Leonean. You Jamaican. Oh, you're from there. What do you have the accent? Oh, why is that? Okay, the thing is, Fantacee, we've traveled a lot. And then I think, been to the UK, multiple times, have its own effect to me. So I do have, how should I say? Trevor said it's like you do have like an, English accent, which I do. I try to hide it as much as I can, and I want to, but it is what it is. So I'm not going to, dip into that. And
it is also, what it is.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're down to 1 minute. I'm going to shut my mouth. You guys got to finish saying Sierra Leone to the top. So 1 minute, whatever you do now, just finish and say Sierra Leone to the top. Okay, I'm shutting my mouth now. I'm just going to hold my flag right quick, and shut my mouth.
Okay. All right. Okay, this is Fantacee, me. I'm real. Like, I'm not afraid of anyone. I don't care about what people say. Nothing I do is right for me and Sierra Leone, and my goal is Sierra Leone all the way up, and that means Sierra Leone to the top. Bam.
Thank you very much. I love it. So Kool-Aid's the album, the spoken word album. This is Fantacee Wiz. I need y'all to go and check that album, stream it, the whole 9. Thank you very much. Our 30 minutes is up.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We out.
All right, we out.